Hi, I'm Tony. I'm an incoming junior at Valley Christian High School in San Jose, and this is my first milestone video for my project at Blue Stamp Engineering this summer. This actually isn't my first year at Blue Stamp Engineering. I was here last year where I was able to build a really cool Arduino-powered fingerprint ID safe, which took me 3 weeks to build. But now this year, I'm also back at Blue Stamp Engineering, and I'm building another really cool project based on object detection with a Raspberry Pi. So I'll share my screen and I can get to explaining some of what I was able to accomplish in this first milestone. So here is the tutorial that I was able to follow on the Raspberry Pi website. And oh yeah, I should probably explain what a Raspberry Pi is before I get into my whole spiel. So a Raspberry Pi is basically just a small computer that can do lots of things, as you can see right here. And yeah, has all the basic capabilities of a computer, and it can run some specific programs even better than a computer in some cases. So over my first week and my first milestone, I was able to just follow through this tutorial and work on setting up my Raspberry Pi. So here's a first image of what my setup looks like. So this is my Raspberry Pi, which is actually right next to me on my desk, which is a bit hard to show, but I took a picture of it beforehand. So yeah, it looks a bit complicated, but I can break it down for you guys. So up here is the HDMI cable, which is attached to my second monitor. That's where I can actually view the contents of my Raspberry Pi. Here to the right of it is the power cable, which is attached to a wall socket where my Raspberry Pi gets all its power from. And here is a USB where it's attached to an Amazon Basics keyboard and mouse set that helps me control my Raspberry Pi. So I've also installed some heat sinks on top. These are these little silver things on the sensitive parts of the Raspberry Pi to help stop it from overheating. So yeah, here's the second image of what my Raspberry Pi screen looks like. So I was actually also able to install VNC, which is a viewing software that allows me to view the contents of my Raspberry Pi while using my Mac. So this is really useful, for example, when I'm on a Zoom meeting with my instructor and other classmates, where I can share my screen and show them what I've accomplished so far or ask for help. And it's really easy to just do everything on one screen instead of having to move between this screen and this screen and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is what my setup looks like so far. And yeah, here is also my Amazon Basics keyboard and mouse. And above that is the second monitor, which I sometimes use, but I mainly just use the VNC viewer to access my Raspberry Pi through my Mac. So yeah, that was all I wanted to share for my first milestone video. I'm currently planning on installing TensorFlow and other programs that'll be useful for me to work on an object detection project. But yeah, my first milestone, like I said before, was just me getting able to set up my Raspberry Pi and get started with coding and learning about how the Raspberry Pi functions. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my little spiel. I will see you guys back for the next milestone video. Bye.